Hey everybody, welcome back. So I'm doing my 10 favorite films from each letter of the alphabet. Today is the letter B. Now this one actually ended up being a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. There have been several titles that I would put on and then take off and then put back on, and then, so it actually took me a while. I'm not even 100% sure it's actually completely where I want it to be, but for the sake of the video, and I do want to do these hopefully daily, I'm just going to leave it where it is now and just kind of move on from there. First up is Back to the Future. I mean, to me, it's just a perfect film. It's one of those films that you watch it, and by the time it ends, like Raiders: The Lost Ark is also like this for me, where for me, it's just like, that's just a perfect movie, and I'm like in such a good mood when it ends. So yeah, without a doubt, Back to the Future was going to be on this list. Next up is definitely one I was taking off, putting back on, taking off, putting back on, and that is Bassketball, a movie that I remember the first time I saw it, I thought, I was like, it's okay, because I was a fan of South Park and everything. And then I think it was when I saw it the second time, where it was literally like a night and day experience, where I thought it was just like the funniest thing I had ever seen. And the film has a lot of special meaning for me, outside of the fact that I've seen it like 100 times. It's also a film that got me through a very rough spot in my life. It was like just something that, almost like comfort food. I would just put it on and I would just be in a good mood. So I think that's why I decided to actually leave it on the list, and it's deserving. So I'm glad it is one of the 10. Here's another one that I was kind of going back and forth between this one or Tim Burton's Batman, but this is Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. I'm a huge fan of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, and indeed, spoiler, Dark Knight will be in the D's. And I think even now, as much as I do love Tim Burton's Batman, and again, I kept going back and forth, I think just from my own aesthetic, I would lean towards watching Batman Begins because I would find it creatively inspiring, if that makes sense. Next one is Battle Royale, and this is a film that I swear every time I watch it, I'm always like as much as I love the film, I'll go and I'll watch it again, and I'm just like, oh God, this movie is so amazing. And it's one that I remember I saw pretty early on. And it was back when like a couple people kind of knew about the film, but it hadn't quite gotten the full, I don't think, the full cult status that it does today. And I was blown away. I mean, obviously some of my close friends had already seen it, but then there were other friends of mine who I loved introducing it to. This film is one that I feel truly deserves to be called an epic, and that is William Wyler's Ben-Hur. Now, while I'm not overly religious, I do actually have my faith. So the thing I love about Ben-Hur is that it's, it doesn't hit you over the head with a lot of things that sometimes some of the other films can. And just from a filmmaking standpoint, it is stunning, and it's just like literally like epic. Like it's one of the few films that I really feel you can use epic, and yes, it is an epic film. As I mentioned before, I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan. So next up is Beverly Hills Cop. I love this film so much, and the thing I think I love about it is, outside of just being a fan of Eddie Murphy and him kind of doing his thing in the film, is that the rest of the film is very serious. Like, for example, the bad guys are not goofy and silly. Basically you have, everything is kind of serious, but then you have Eddie Murphy be the one element that's sort of comedic. The murder that happens early on in the film is actually very chilling and realistic, and it's just like one of those ones where it's like, this is a comedy, wow. And just a film I really, really love. In fact, I've been meaning to watch it again lately, so which I think I need to very soon. So I keep going back and forth on which Lucio Fulci film is my favorite, but this is definitely one of the two, and that is The Beyond, a film that I feel is, especially creatively, I think it's his most accomplished in that way. And it's a film that literally just has everything in it. It has like supernatural elements, and it's got zombies, and it's got like ultra gore, and just, it's like everything just kind of thrown in, and I love it so much. This next one will come as no surprise, and that is John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, what else can I say about Big Trouble in Little China that I'm sure a lot of you probably share with me as well? The movie's just awesome. I will say one thing though, in film school, there was a group of us who Big Trouble in Little China was sort of like, we used to joke that you couldn't be in our group unless you were also a fan of Big Trouble in Little China. We were such jerks, I swear. Next up is Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, a film that just, I swear as the years go by, it loses nothing. And I think there's still something that I rediscover every time I watch it. And rounding out the B's is another classic, and that is David Lean's The Bridge on the River Kwai. This is a film that I remember when I saw it for the first time, I sort of like, you always know the infamous scene with the British soldiers marching into the camp and they're whistling that tune and everything. And since it happens sort of towards the beginning of the film, sometimes you just kind of want to watch that, just to kind of see it because it's just a really kind of cool moment. And then you turn it off. That never happens with me. Every time I watch any moment of this film, I have to watch the rest of it. In fact, I actually bought the iTunes version of it a couple months ago, and same thing happened. I just wanted to put it on for a couple minutes because I just wanted to see how it looked like on iTunes. And sure enough, here they come marching into the camp and they're whistling, and then 2.5 hours later, madness, and it's like, well, watch the whole thing. So that's it. Those are my top 10 picks for the letter B. Definitely let me know your 10 for this letter. And also if you do a video, definitely let me know so I can see it. And keep an eye out for the letter C. Hopefully that will be up tomorrow, as well as videos on other things. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.